African soccer has given birth to many legends, and it is clear that the cradle of humanity is a cornucopia of a young talent. Among these talents, we can easily mention the formidable Liverpool striker, Sadio Mané. The young Senegalese is considered one of the best players of his generation, and his legendary dribbling skills have given him a reputation as a great technician. So sit back and relax, because today we are going to find out the incredible story of Sadio Mané and how a young enthusiast had to brave 1001 hardships to achieve his dream. And if you like this video, don't forget to put a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of our next publications. Let's start. Sadio Mané was born on April 10, 1992 under the generous African sun in a small village of Bambali in Middle CASAMANCE in the south of Senegal. This forest region, known for its great beauty and also infamous for its anti-personnel minefields scattered here and there throughout the territory, like dangerous relics of the CASAMANCE War. The armed conflict between the rebels and government forces from the 1980s until the ceasefire in 2005 plunged the region into chaos and extreme poverty. CASAMANCE, once one of the most prosperous regions in the entire country, was now a terrible and dangerous war zone, whose inhabitants were traumatized by fear and totally destitute of resources. Sadio's family was no exception. Like the many villagers in the area, they lived in near absolute poverty. In an attempt to forget his unfortunate state of destitution, little Sadio spent most of his time playing soccer with his friends. In fact, the young boy was literally possessed by the soccer demon, and his passion for the game was matched only by his incredible talent for the ball. For anyone who had the opportunity to see him play, it was clear that this spirited little boy was far above the norm, and that he was destined to be a great player in the future. However, this vision was unfortunately not to everyone's taste. Indeed, Sadio's father, who was none other than the village imam, and whose severity was almost proverbial in the whole region, did not like the fact that his son was more interested in soccer than in his schooling. He was not above reprimanding him with a belt to dissuade him from playing. However, the punishments inflicted by his father were not very persuasive, because little Sadio did as he pleased and continued to play with his friends in secret. When he reached adolescence, Sadio aspired to more independence, and wishing at all costs to realize his dream of becoming a professional footballer, he ran away to try his luck in the Senegalese capital, Dakar. Seeing that his beloved son was willing to do anything to achieve his goal, including putting himself in danger by traveling alone and without resources, Sadio's father finally accepted his passion for soccer. The young Sadio, who had just blown out his 15th candle, finally got his father's blessing and was able to travel to Mbour, Senegal's largest soccer city, to pursue his goal. It is thus the spirit electrified by the dreams of success and provided with the makeshift equipment that will land the young teenager in Mbour, where his talent will not escape anyone, especially the recruiters who abound in the city. Thus, very quickly noticed, Sadio is quickly recruited by the AS Generation Foot, one of the many clubs of the capital, which makes him play on the side of the attack where he will do wonders. Thanks to him, the club moved up to the second division of the Senegalese Championship, and his performances earned him selection in the Generation Foot program, which was his gateway to Europe. Following this, Sadio moved to France to play for FC Metz, whose managers were won over by the young player. Despite a very promising start, the Senegalese did not last long at the Metz club, which was to part with him in favor of Red Bull Salzburg in exchange for 4 million euros. At the time, it was the third largest transfer fee in the history of FC Metz, but the Austrian club would certainly not regret its money. Indeed, in his first season in Austria, the native of CASAMANCE, who became an indisputable starter, literally exploded the scores, scoring 45 goals, including 3 hat-tricks, and thus becoming the top scorer of the championship. Sadio, who shone with 1,000 lights on the lawns, did not fail to attract the attention of the biggest European clubs, and it will be the English of Southampton who will finally have the privilege to sign him. The Senegalese player will unleash like a fury on the English lawns, revealing a talent that no one has seen for a long time within the Premier League. It is therefore not surprising that one of the biggest clubs in the British Championship will eventually acquire him, and Sadio Mané will sign for Liverpool, which will have paid the hefty sum of 36 million euros, making him the second most expensive player in the history of the club, just behind Andy Carroll. Let's go back to our prodigy player. Since his arrival at Liverpool, the Reds will never regret their choice, since Sadio Mané will take them to the heights of victory, and his immense energy, as well as his prodigious dribbling, will make him the new darling of English fans. The young Senegalese had no trouble imposing himself among the formidable attacking trio of Salah, Firmino, and Coutinho, with whom he would establish a true quartet of death. With his precise passes and his inroads into the middle of the park, which almost always lead to a goal, Sadio quickly became irreplaceable in the English club's starting lineup. He became Liverpool's official gunner and won his first Champions League with the Reds in 2019 in a memorable 2-0 win over Tottenham. Sadio will also succeed in winning the same year for Liverpool the prestigious UEFA Super Cup, beating the favorite Chelsea, against which he will score a double that will become historic. His incredible energy and scoring instinct have earned him worldwide acclaim, and the Senegalese player is no longer just adored in England. Many sports analysts already consider him the greatest footballer of the African continent, and he will receive the prestigious African Player of the Year award in 2019. Today, Sadio Mané, 28 years old, is rightly considered one of the best strikers in the world, justifying all the qualities of a great footballer, which are speed, technicality, and precision in front of the goal. With a speed record of 34.84 kilometers an hour, the young Senegalese is also one of the fastest footballers on the planet. And for comparison, the average speed of Usain Bolt when he broke the 100-meter record in 2009 was 37.58 kilometers an hour. Despite these incredible qualities, Sadio will not collect the Grail of Grails for a footballer, namely the precious Golden Ball 2019, competition in which he will still finish 4th in the ranking, just behind the great Cristiano Ronaldo. However, almost ironically, the one who played soccer barefoot in the street of Senegal was finally crowned Golden Shoe of the English Championship, a consecration that had even more taste for the young native of CASAMANCE and survivor of a murderous conflict, who also had to fight against poverty and the prejudice of his own family against soccer. Today, Sadio Mané looks back on his younger years with a smile, and he has become one of the best paid players on the planet. Liverpool pays its cult with the equivalent of 9 million euros per year, which could increase to more than 13 million if he extends the contract that binds him to the Reds until 2023. However, the English club will also have to deal with the advances of Real Madrid, which has been courting his protected for quite some time. A competition that looks complicated for the English club because the Senegalese player has never hidden his desire to participate in the La Liga Championship and to play for one of the two mythical clubs that have rocked his childhood, namely Barcelona and Real. Especially if today, the market value of Sadio is around 120 million euros. Everyone knows that the two Spanish super clubs have ample means to afford such a transfer. However, the future looks bright for the young striker now that he earns more than 38,000 euros per day and his family and loved ones are forever safe from the need. More than his family, it is his entire village that has benefited from the great generosity of the international player, who does not count when it comes to helping the poorest. A valuable help and above all, really authentic, since it comes from someone who has experienced the same misery and the same problems on a daily basis. If he is generous, Sadio Mané is also very discreet on the issue and facing so much modesty on his part. We can really say that the millions he earns have not gone to his head. And far from doing it like the parvenus who ostentatiously burn their money in fast cars and luxury watches, he rather displays a modest lifestyle. Indeed, you won't see the Reds player coming to a training in a Ferrari or a Bugatti, as other more materialistic players do. Sadio, on the other hand, prefers to help people in his community who really need it. This survivor of wars and famines knows deep down that driving a car that costs more than 1 million euros would be an insult to those who live on less than €1 a day. So it is humbly that this great player prevents himself from doing crazy things with his money, preferring to use it for something that makes sense and that will not fail to make his daddy's imam even prouder of him. So what do you think of Sadio Mané's incredible story and journey? Give us your thoughts in the comments. That's all for today. Thanks for staying until the end of this video, and see you soon.